I just have some follow-up questions just to clear a time frame in my mind. You said that you had met with Jimmy Harrell around 9:30 to 9:40 to sign off on some paperwork.
Yeah.
Did you see him after that?
No, I saw him on the bridge.
And how long after you signed the paperwork that you saw him on the bridge?
I don't know.
Ballpark?
I mean, it had to be approximately from 9:40 to probably somewhere 5 minutes to 10 or something.
Okay, so around 10, 15 minutes probably?
Yeah, 10 or 15 minutes approximately. I mean, that's just speculation, you know.
Okay, yeah, I understand. I'm just asking for ballparks. I'm not trying to ask for exact times. When you were on the rig doing the stump test, what type of preventative maintenance did you do to the BOP stack prior to splashing it?
Prior to splashing?
Yes, sir.
We change out, on a normal rig move, we change out all the rubber goods and the BOPs. We check the pre-charge on all the bottles. You know, you have to adjust them for different water depths. We meg the ETs, they meg the cables, make all your electronic cables, and make sure we're not getting any water ingression in it. This rig move here, we changed out all the half-inch hoses on the BOP stack. Last rig move, we made all new hoses and tested them. You know, we changed out all the gaskets, all the filters in the rigid conduit manifold. I mean, you just want to know everything about it?
Well, I understand.
That's the biggest part of it.
Is there any type of documentation or checklist that's done by you or anybody that you work with on that testing or whatever you repair, preventive maintenance?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the logic of the EDS system? The logic that I was referring to earlier, the electronic systems that once you hit certain buttons on your control panel, what happens?
Yes.
Is there any way to manipulate the logic on the emergency disconnect system to delay a disconnect in case you accidentally hit the disconnect?
No. If you hit the button, that's what it does.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I've got a couple of follow-ups. Could you explain on this BOP stack exactly how the auto shear functions?
The auto shear, it's got to be separation from the BOP. It's got to be, the LMRP got to separate, got to lift off the stack.
And then the auto shear takes over?
That's correct.
And what does the auto shear function?
The blind shear rail.
Just the blind shear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, could you explain to me exactly how the dead man system works?
Yes. The dead man system, you got to lose communication in both pods and the hydraulics.
Now, that's communication with the rig, or?
No, that's communications with the pods. The pods got to lose communication.
With the BOP stack?
That's correct. With the controls.
With the controls.
Mm-hmm.
So the controls on the rig and the communication between the pods and the rig, is that what I'm understanding?
When you say rig, I mean, I don't understand.
Where the rig floor is, the horizon, the vessel. I mean, the pods are located on the BOP stack, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so I'm losing communication between the pod.
And its controls.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
And the controls, yes.
And the control.
Yeah,
And that's the controls that you would have at your panels?
that's correct. It's got to lose that power at the panels.
In your CCU unit, do you have BOP function capability in the CCU unit?
Yes.
When you splash the stack, what position are the rams in when you splash the stack?
When we splash, they open.
They're all open?
Yeah.
Are they're in the open position, or is the BOP in the neutral position?
They're in the open position.
Okay. During normal drilling operations, what position do you maintain that BOP in?
Open.
The open?
Yes.
Not in the neutral?
No.
Okay. from your CCU unit, do you have the capability of putting the BOP into the neutral position?
Yes.
All right, when it's placed in the neutral position at that location, does it have any effect on the functionality of the control panel on the bridge and the control panel on the floor?
Neutral position. When you say neutral position, is that like putting a pod in vent?
I don't know. I'm going by what Mr. Harrell told me yesterday, was that you have on your control panels, you have indicator lights that indicate that the BOP is in the open position,
The closed position?
the closed position, and then a neutral position.
Well, the neutral position is called vent.
Okay, it's called vent. All right, from the CCU unit, if you place the CCU unit controls in the vent position, does it have any effect on the control functions from the bridge and the
No, sir.
grid floor?
They're independent stations.
They're independent of each other. Okay, thank you. Follow up. So if we lose, if you have the MUX line severed or disconnected, that would activate the dead man on the BOP stack?
To activate the dead man, you got to lose the electronics and the hydraulics,
Both.
both.
So if we had the MUX line and the hydraulic line severed, then it would activate the dead man?
Yes, but it's got to lose communication in both pods.
Communication back to the rig floor, I'm assuming.
Well, communication back to that panel.
Okay, so if I sever all surface activity down that riser, the MUX lines, the hydraulic lines, that BOP system should activate and close.
The dead man system should activate and close.
Now, what on the dead man, what functions on the BOP stack does the dead man function?
The blind shear rails.
Blind shear only.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Pleasant, I have a couple of real quick clarification questions here. During previous testimony yesterday in talking with Chief Mate Young, I believe he indicated that sometime prior to the actual explosion that he and you had a discussion or conversation in and around the subsea office. Do you recall that?
I don't recall it.
And then let me go back here to the activation of the EDS system. When you went to the bridge, you indicated that you basically activated the EDS on your own. Is that correct?
That's correct, because I am the authority.
So is it your understanding you don't need to ask the permission of the captain to do that?
It depends on what the situation is. You know, if it's just for a watch circle, we getting outside our watch circle, yes. Yes, you need permission.
Or
But,
do you okay.
no, go ahead.
Was it your understanding, based upon what you knew about the incident that had happened, that you had direct authority to execute the EDS without asking anybody else?
That's correct.
Did you ask the OIM for permission, or did you discuss with him?
No, I didn't.
When you went up there, were you aware of any ongoing discussion between possibly the master and the OIM concerning activation of the EDS?
No, I wasn't aware of it. I mean, my mind was focused on getting off the well.
Now, if I understood your previous testimony correctly, you indicated you hit the EDS panel and the lights that you expected to come on activated. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I also believe you said, but you had no hydraulics.
That's correct.
What did you mean by that?
No flow. I had no pressure in the system that allowed those functions to work.
So would it be fair to assume that basically when the lights came on, you had no verification that anything had actually happened?
I had no verification that nothing happened because I had no flow, no hydraulic flow.
Thank you. I have no further questions.